everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. For today's look, I'm going to show you my go-to curls using rollers and hair straighteners. I'm just going to list the products that you'll probably need for this video on screen, so pause if you want to find out what you need before we start. I have naturally frizzy hair, as you'll see in some parts of the video, so I try and keep it as smooth as possible if I can. So I like to start from the front and work my way towards the back. What I'm doing here is I'm just sectioning off my bangs. So this look is going to be dependent on how long your hair is, how thick your hair is. It's going to be different for everybody, so I'm just showing you my technique. I always start by taking a section of hair about 1 to 2 inches wide. I'm clamping the straightener at the root and then pulling the straightener towards my face, gliding it down the length of my hair. Don't focus too much on your technique, just focus on getting the straightener in the hair and then using the hand to pull tension. So look, I've got my hand on each side of the straightener and I'm literally just gliding it down. So this might take a little bit of getting used to if you are not used to doing this. What I want to show you is any sort of tips and tricks that I find to make it easier for yourself. What I want to do is just secure that piece of hair with a high top roller. So rollers aren't used to curl the hair. I think this is a bit of a misconception. Rollers are used to create volume and ensure that the curl lasts for longer. I am just spraying my root here and combing through. One pro tip is please use a good quality hairspray. I think this is what can make the difference between the hair looking good and not. There are different ways to roll a roller, so what I'm doing for this particular curl is I am actually rolling it in towards my face. So the difference is sometimes the hair can go underneath the roller or it can go on top. As you can see, it's gone on top of the roller. I just prefer how this looks at the end. So I'm going to take a thicker section for the piece behind my front roller. I'm just going to comb through with a comb. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a demonstration here. So look how the straighteners, as you will hold them upright, there's the logo. Hold them with the logo at the top, and then you're going to see that I'm going to turn it so that the logo can face the front. So all you're going to do is put your hair in there and then pull it up. That's all you have to do. You don't need to do anything else. Just sort of pull up and pull it to the end. It's not even going to give you like a curl or anything. It's just going to give you a little bit of tension. And what I'm going to do when I get to the top is roll it back down towards my head. Use some heat gloves for this. I wouldn't recommend doing it with no heat gloves like I am. And then what I'm going to do is spray it and then I'm going to secure it with a roller. Because I am using a bigger section of hair, I am going to use a bigger roller. So the smaller the roller, the tighter the curl, the bigger the roller, the looser the curl. But if you're using bigger sections, I would recommend using a bigger roller, smaller sections, smaller roller. So I'm just going to show you this section in real time and then I'm going to slow it down and show you how I create this part. So you can see here that the wire for the straighteners is at the front, the logo is still at the top. So all I'm doing is wrapping that straightener around, so you see the logo's on the bottom now. And then I'll twist it back around and then the logo should end up at the top. So you're just basically following the motion of your hand. So I'm going to show you a different way to do this next. So you can also see that the logo's at the top and you can go underneath. This might be a lot easier for some people. So basically what you're just doing is scooping it round. That is probably an easier technique for people, but I just wanted to show you both ways that you could achieve a curl with the straightener. So I'm just going to repeat the same twisting motion for the next piece of hair and then I'm going to secure it with a roller and a duckbill clip, spraying as I go along with my L'Oreal Elnett. I know the pace of this video is a little bit slow, but I wanted to keep it as much in real time so that you could get a real indication of the technique that I'm doing. Basically, it is really easy once you get the hang of it. You're just scooping it round. I think the straightener does help, but you can achieve this with any other straightener, not just the GHD Curve. So now that the top section is done, that is where you'd want the most volume. I'm going to just take a 2-finger sized amount and this is where I'm going to show you how to curl it. So this is like a little bit tricky, this part. So what I'm doing is I'm showing you the straighteners open, flip it upside down. So see it's open, just tip it upside down, get your hair in whilst it's upside down, and then what I'm going to do is hold the straightener with both hands. See, I grabbed each end, and then I'm just going to twist it. So this tension is what's going to give you a curl. So this part we're focused on getting a curl in the hair and not just volume. This part is completely optional. Some people will take it out at the bottom, but what I like to do is roll it up to the top and then take it out that way. Please make sure you're using heat gloves. I think I said it in the beginning, but I think I'm used to this at the moment. My hands are like lizards, so I don't think I feel the heat. But for anyone else, please use a heat glove. Cannot reiterate that enough. And this part's completely optional also. Using a roller may take away a little bit of that curl, but for this look I wanted it to be bouncy anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and add some rollers in just for this look. But any other time I might just actually pin it with the duckbill clip. It doesn't really matter, just depends on what look you're going for. So I'm just going to repeat this technique again. Tip the hair straightener upside down, tip it upside down, get your hair in there, and hand on each side, top and bottom, and then just pull. The tighter you pull it, the tighter the curl's going to be. The looser you pull it, the looser the curl's going to be. And another fact, I didn't actually tell you, I'm not a hairdresser, so this is just the technique that I use for my hair. A little tip from me, if the curl doesn't go the way I like, I'm not afraid to go back over and do it again. It's not going to ruin the look. It's fine to do it again. And also you'll probably end up with the curl that you really want. I'm just going to secure it using a roller. See the way that I'm putting the hair on top? You can go underneath, you can go on top. I'm just showing you the way that I would do it on top. The other side is underneath, so I'm going to match that and go underneath. But there's me showing you the two different ways that you can roll a roller, and basically the way you roll it is just the way it's going to flick out. It's not going to do much apart from the direction that it flicks out. I'm just securing them with a duckbill clip. My favourite clips of all time. I literally love them. I know that some people say they leave marks in your hair, but I just love them when I use rollers. I find that they really secure the roller in place. And then what I'm going to do is just spray down my hair. I'm just speeding up this next section. It's just me repeating the same actions as I have done for all of the video. I didn't want to bore you with the same curl motion over and over again. I'm just finishing off the rest of my hair, rolling up, pinning it, repeating the same technique, and then what we're going to do is move on to taking the hair out and perfecting it before it is done. So we'll come back to that in a minute. So another little tip is the longer that you leave your rollers in, the longer that the curls will hold for. For quicker results, you can use a hairdryer to apply some heat, afterwards. I know that some people will not want to use double heat. That is completely fair enough. I usually leave mine to set for about half an hour, depending on how much time I have to get ready. This is a look I will do when I've got a little bit longer to get ready. So maybe like 20 minutes to half an hour. But with the hairspray, they should last anyway, because the hairspray is going to make them stay in place and hold. So once all the hair rollers are in, what I do is spray it down, let it set, and then I will come back and then I will take them out. Another little tip is be careful when taking the hair out, because you don't want to tangle or pull on your hair. I am guilty of this. You can see I am so heavy-handed. Why am I ragging them out like that? Please explain. I'm just going to stand up so you can see the curl that is left. Look how bouncy they are. I just love the curls that straighteners produce. I think they're just so much nicer than using a curler. Like, I love a curler, but sometimes I just prefer a straightener. So sometimes when I take my rollers out, I will notice that my hair, because it is quite frizzy, this will not be applicable to everybody, but if your hair is on the slightly more frizzy side, you're going to look at it and be like, oh my god, why is my hair that frizzy? But I want to show you how I would sort of fix that. The key is just to get the curls, the volume, and then we can always go back over and make it look neat. I always lightly brush through my curls. If you want them really tight, don't brush them through, just hairspray them and leave them as they are. But I prefer a sort of bouncy at the bottom look, so that's why I'm just brushing through. So because I have frizzy hair, what I'm just going to do is smooth over my root. Because I've still got the top layer of rollers in, this makes it so much easier. So what I do is just go back over the root, and then that'll just get rid of like the immediate frizz that you can notice. But then because I've worked in 2 sections almost, you're not going to notice it as much. So we've come to the last part, which is taking out the top rollers. This is where I love seeing the results. I find that if you have like shorter layers at the top, you can really see the volume that rollers use, and that's why I love to use rollers. And what I'll do is just slightly brush over, because it is going to keep that volume still. Don't forget, you don't need to like worry that if you brush it out, it's all going to brush out. Definitely is dependent on your hair type, but remember, we use the rollers for volume, not for curls. So that front piece, because it is a bang, it will go a little bit wild sometimes. What I like to do is just sort of give myself a bit of a parting, and then see the way that it just looks a bit neater when I've given myself a parting. And then this will be the final look. I like to spray my hair down, and then I will add a little bit of oil. I find that oil just keeps the curl really soft and sleek. You don't have to do this, but I find that it really helps. And yeah, so this is just like a little shot of the hair. Thank you once again for watching. Hopefully I will see you all in my next video, and if you would like to see more content like this, please do not forget to subscribe. Take care. Bye.